Hello, Wonderhussy here, in a very, very, very super duper ultra remote canyon in the White Mountains, which is a mountain range that kind of straddles the border of Nevada and California. I'm just sort of north of Death Valley. I was up in the White Mountains at the ancient bristlecone pine forest, which is about 7 miles back up that canyon. And I thought, well, instead of just taking the regular way home, which would be to go back down the paved road and West Guard Pass, and it's a beautiful drive. It goes through some very desolate country, too. Well, I thought, let me try this other canyon road, Wyman Canyon Road. It said 4x4 recommended. Okay, well, I got 4x4, no problem. Well, I took it all the way down, like I said, about 7 miles, and I think I only had 5 more miles to go. But unfortunately, I wasn't shooting GoPro because I didn't think I was going to do a video. But the creek, there's a beautiful creek that runs through this super rugged desert valley. And the creek actually, you can maybe see it's overcast. It's been raining. So the creek got deeper and deeper. And, I did a few creek crossings and they got deeper and deeper. And, then I kind of drove down a waterfall. The road became the creek. And I thought, I'm all by myself. I'm out here in the middle of nowhere. There's no cell signal. I mean, my car is very capable. I probably could have done it, but I just didn't know. And I had 5 more miles of that road to go. As much as I hated to do it, I turned around and now I have to drive all the way back up to the dang bristlecone pine forest and back around on the paved roads. But actually, blessing in disguise, as I came down here, I passed 3 little cabins. And again, I didn't bother to shoot a video because the first cabin was real busted. There was nothing left in it. The second cabin was even more busted, and there was nothing left in it. And then this third cabin here was pretty busted too, and it had a lot of really stupid graffiti in it. So I just thought, none of that's even worth shooting. And then I saw across the road from that cabin, there was another cabin. But there was a side-by-side and 2 quads parked in front of it. So I thought, like way out here. I mean, we're miles from anything. I thought I saw kind of shadowy figures moving around inside the cabin. I thought, maybe it's some hunters or something. I'll just leave them to their thing. So I went on down the road. I had to open a couple gates. And then, I eventually got to that waterfall and decided, I better turn around. The blessing in disguise is, when I came back up, the quads and the side-by-side were gone. So I was able to go check out this cabin, and it's actually super cool. Okay, so like I said, we're in a very, 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 very remote part of the sort of no man's land between Nevada and California. I mean, you can look at a map if you want. Find the town of Bishop, California, or Big Pine, California. And then there's a little squirrely pass that goes eastward to eventually it ends up at US 95 in Nevada. Well, that's the road I'm taking. I thought I was going to take this little shortcut, but I'm not. But that road goes through an amazing, desolate valley, which I guess eventually later today I'll get to and I'll show you, called Deep Springs Valley. And what's interesting about it is it's vast and super remote and super desolate, but it's home to, bizarrely, this ultra elite college. It's a 2-year college, like where you can get your associate's degree, I guess, but it's super elite. It's only like 30 students maximum, and it's like the movers and shakers of the world. Like I was reading about it on Wikipedia this morning, and man, like so many people who have gone to that school have gone on to be in like Congress or won Pulitzer Prizes or MacArthur Genius Grants. Like little tiny college, only 30 students, way out in the middle of nowhere. Like you'll see when I show you, it's super remote. But I guess only the finest of the finest young men go out there and they get molded into men because there's no tuition. It's free. Like you don't have to pay to go there. You just have to have the president write you a recommendation letter, basically. But if you're chosen as one of the students, there's no tuition. You just have to work for your keep, okay? It's a working ranch. It's called Deep Springs College, but I guess it's also a working ranch. And so you learn the skills of animal husbandry and alfalfa farming and so sure, it's all these elitist kids that are like studying the classics. Like it's a classical education, but then you're also learning how to like muck hay and butcher cows and stuff like that. So, like I said, molding young boys into men. They only actually started admitting female students in 2018, and I don't even know if they have admitted any female students. There's only I think there's 8 professors and 3 administrators and 30 students. So I'll be honest, to me it sounds amazing. Like that's the kind of college experience I wish I would have had. Instead, I went to a huge public university, and, well, I feel like I wasted about $10,000 of my mom's money. But anyway, why I'm telling you all about that college is this little cabin here is apparently used by the cowboys at that college. Because look at what's written on the door. Okay, first of all, before we go in, you can see it's just a pretty simple little wooden cabin with a really cute little porch on the front. And in pretty good shape. And there's even a good old-fashioned cowboy campfire out front with a really nice cast iron griddle to make pancakes in the morning. But look. Deep Springs. And then the note says, "Hi there, the Deep Springs Cowboys will be using this space as their cow camp and home from June 20th to July 20th. Please be respectful and do not use their materials or space. Rory, Deep Springs of 18." Okay, well, the quads and everything, maybe that was them, but they're gone now, so it's not locked. So I just wanted to peek in real quick, and it's pretty cool. It's just a simple one-room cabin. I guess it would be enough. Like, it says they've been staying here since June 20th. Today's June 29th. So if they've already been here for 9 days, you think they would have had some gear laid in and they would have cleaned out all this rat poo, but they haven't really left much in here except, well, somebody, and maybe it was those people that were just in here, left a Mammoth Brewing Company Golden Trout Ale can. Ugh. And that must have been the people who were just here, because look, it's fresh. But the only supplies laid in are 2 ginormous cans of cream of mushroom soup and a can of Trader Joe's turkey chili. Okay, 2 things. 1, Trader Joe's, sure sign of Deep Springs elitists. Just kidding, I'm sure they're fine people. And 2, what on God's green earth, or I should say, what in the name of Satan would anyone do with 1 of these ginormous cans of cream of mushroom soup, let alone 2? I can't imagine. I suppose you could make some kind of really gross casserole with the chili. No thanks. Anyway, I don't want to spend too much time in here in case the cowboys do come back, but it's a cool little old-fashioned cowboy cabin. You know, like when the cowboys would go out into the, what do they call that? They go out into the mountains in the summer to round up the cattle or whatever. Like Brokeback Mountain type deal. I mean, I'm not suggesting anything like that takes place here, but who knows? Maybe it does, and if it does, who cares? But it looks like a lot of other off-roaders and people have come through over the years and carved their names, you know, the usual. Some pretty old graffiti on the walls and the door. Look at this guy, was here in 1986. What a year. But I mean, if you did sweep out this cabin and clean it up, it'd be cool, man. There's that really cool farmhouse table with the bench. Everybody gather around, have pancakes. Oh, I guess I have pancakes on the brain. I wonder why it's pushed up against that cabinet. Is there something in that cabinet? We better find out. Oh, just shelves and nothing in them. You know me, I'll put everything back the way I found it. Just a really cute, cozy little cabin. I mean, I guess this hat here, I was going to say this is kind of new, but not really, man. It's really stiff with age. Like it needs some neat's foot oil. And I don't even think it's leather. It's canvas or, God, I don't know. It feels like it's made out of cardboard. Anyway, what I was going to say is what a cute little cabin and what an awesome place to, well, essentially play cowboy is I guess what these guys are doing. I guess it's a working ranch. I don't know if they actually sell the meat that they raise or if they just eat it on campus or what the deal is, but man, it would suck. They just now started letting female students into the college. Well, what if they did? Then they made the female student be the one who cooked them all the ranch food up here. That would be most unpleasant. Oof, I hate cooking. But look at this. So right off the front porch there, past the little campfire, there's this little trail that goes into the woods. That's kind of creepy. I don't know what that is. Maybe that's like an old cattle guard, part of an old cattle guard. This must be the pasture where they put their livestock. What a beautiful little glade. Oh yeah, look, there's a little stock tank for the cows to drink. Some idiots had a campfire right here in the middle of the cow pasture. I don't know why you would do that. Wow, but look how lush it is in this little valley. Oh my goodness. I mean, grass, you guys, in the desert. This is pretty exceptional. Oh, wow, look, old newspapers. Well, they're probably not that old. Oh yeah, Ryan rejects Trump claims against FBI. Can't be that old. Interesting. But yeah, I mean, just, oh my god, it smells amazing. Because, you know, it's just been raining. I can't impress upon you guys, like, how rugged and remote. First of all, the White Mountains, I've spent about the last day and a half exploring them, and I can't recommend them enough. I was up at the Bristlecone Forest yesterday, and then I camped up there last night, and it was friggin' spectacular. And then this canyon is absolutely beautiful, too. I guess you just don't want to drive it when it's been raining. What's this? I guess this is like something you would tie your horses up to, and then there's like this overgrown old... I don't know. I didn't grow up on a farm or a ranch. You tell me, what is that? And then aren't these like... They look like stinging nettles, but I guess I don't think there are stinging nettles in Nevada. I sure hope not anyways, because I accidentally just brushed my leg against that one and it didn't sting me, so... I don't know. Whatever it is, it smells amazing down here. And, oh, well, it would be a cool place to camp if the cowboys weren't using it as their cow camp. Which I actually think is really cool. Like, I'll admit, like, me making fun of them for the Trader Joe's chili and stuff, and the making the girl be the ranch cook, it all stems from a place of sour grapes. I'm jealous because I want to go to a cool college like Deep Springs. I mean, I think I actually met somebody who went there once, and again, there's only like 30 students a year. He's a really distinguished writer. He even has his own Wikipedia entry. I can't remember what awards he's won, but he's written a bunch of... He was a war correspondent, I think, and then he wrote a bunch of books, and he actually interviewed me once. He paid me to interview me for this book he was writing. I think it's about a stripper or a prostitute, and so he was... I know, story of my life. Mutual acquaintances connected us. I think he lives outside Sacramento, but he happened to be in Vegas. He wanted to interview or talk to women who were in those kinds of industries just to get their perspectives. And I was never a stripper or a prostitute, but I was a nude model, and I don't know, I guess that was close enough for him. So he actually came over to my house with our mutual friend and talked to me for a couple hours, just asked me questions, and then he paid me for my time, like $25 an hour or something like that. And then, yeah, a couple years later, I got this big package in the mail from the publisher, hardback copy of the book. And I was like, why am I getting this first edition copy of this book? And then I remembered, oh, that's that guy who interviewed me. Anyway, all of this came back to me when I was reading on Wikipedia today about this Deep Springs College. He's one of the distinguished alumni. Cool guy. His name's William T. Volman, and the book is called The Lucky Star. I haven't had a chance to read it yet, but, well, gosh, now I'm curious, like, if he actually took anything from my personal experience and used that in the character's life in the book. Interesting. Okay, well, I gotta drive all the way back up this dang canyon for 7 miles, and it's a rough 7 miles, and then I gotta go all the way back through the Bristlecone Pine Forest, and all the way back down through Westgard Pass and around, but eventually... Well, I'll get about 5 miles that way, and I'll show you what this Deep Springs College looks like. It's a trip. See what I mean? I told you this was some desolate country. This is maybe the most desolate valley I've ever driven through, certainly one of them. And I actually want to come back here sometime and camp out and like just explore. I'm sure there's got to be a ton of interesting stuff, even in a valley as desolate as this. But yeah, that's the college up there on the right, all those green trees. Well, I guess they don't get up to your typical college fraternity hijinks out here, you know. It'd be kind of hard for them to throw keggers and whatnot when the nearest liquor store is 50 miles away over that windy mountain pass we just went over. Woo-wee. Well, I guess that's maybe why they didn't want women at the school. They didn't want the lads to have any distractions. Although, you know, boys will be boys, if you know what I mean. Even if it's all guys at this college, I'm sure there was some stuff going on. You know, teenage boys, all their hormones raging. I don't know. I feel like I read an article once about they had a female teacher there, and I bet she was popular. Anyway, I'm coming up on where I would have come out if I hadn't turned back from that Wyman Canyon. And I looked at it when I got into Signal, and I guess the part that I turned around in was called the Royal Gorge. And it's like, really, it's the only gnarly part. If I could have made it through that, I could have made it down here and saved myself 30, 40 miles in maybe an hour's worth of time, hour and a half. But whatever, it is what it is. I'm glad I had to go back because it gave me the opportunity to check out that really cool little cowboy cabin. Okay, I'm gonna pull over. I don't want to drive up to the college because there's nothing else out here for miles. It's like the college is set a mile back off the road. So I'll just pull over here on the highway. Okay, here we are. In the middle of nowhere. I don't know if you can read that sign. That way, the way we just came says Big Pine 395 is 27 miles back that way. Well, I'm going this way, which I'm going to US 95, 11 miles, and then I gotta go south to Beatty to get gas and then down to Vegas. But there's the college, man. I don't know why I'm so fascinated with it, but it's the idea of all these sons of the titans of industry all learning how to farm and learning how to speak Latin and philosophize. I just find it so fascinating. And yeah, they might not all be sons of titans of industry. Some of them, tuition is free, okay? So it's not like you have to be rich to go there, but you have to be recommended and get basically a letter of recommendation from like a congressman or the president or somebody like that. So how many poor kids do you know that have opportunities and connections like that? Man, I just saw a car come down the highway and turn down the road there. It's like, well, it's June 30th. Obviously the Cowboys are doing their cow roundup. I don't know when their school year starts, but man, it sure would be interesting to be here at the beginning of the semester when, I guess parents, don't you drop your kid off for their first day at college? I think they all have to fly into Las Vegas and then drive all the way out here, and oh man, it would just be so interesting. I should try to figure out when that is, and that's when I should camp out here. I should just post up on the side of the road and watch all the kids arriving for college at good old Deep Springs. I can't remember the full name of it, but look it up, man. It's a fascinating place. Oh man, I sure would love to visit it someday, but I doubt they'd invite me out there. Anyway, where I would have come out if I hadn't chickened out is right over yonder. But like I said, it really didn't save me or cost me that much time or that much mileage. I'm still fine. I still have plenty of gas to get to Beatty, Nevada, or maybe I'll even go to that alien brothel gas station just for fun. Who can say? But all I know is I gotta get home, man. This is the last day of my 2-day trip. I've been all over the West Coast, and I am wore out. But don't worry, I only need to go home and recover for a few days, and I'll be back on the road again. So stay tuned.